Ezekiel 20:12. God gave the Sabbath to be a sign. What if I told you there's a divine sign, etched not in stone or sky, but in time itself, a sign that God himself gave, not only to ancient Israel, but as a permanent covenant with all who claim to follow him? Ezekiel 20:12 declares, "Moreover also I gave them my Sabbaths, to be a sign between me and them, that they might know that I am the Lord that sanctify them." That's not a suggestion, that's not a tradition, that is a declaration from the mouth of the Almighty, a sign between the Creator and his people. Now I ask the skeptic, the pastor, the priest, the imam, the agnostic, and the Sunday preacher, how can you erase a sign that God himself established to identify his people? This is not about culture. This is not about custom. This is about covenant. The Sabbath was not invented by Moses. It was not a Jewish ordinance. Go back to Genesis 2:2-3. The Sabbath was sanctified at creation before there was ever a Jew, before Abraham, before Sinai, before sin. It was God's holy day from the beginning. Then, in Exodus 31:13, God repeats the same language used in Ezekiel. "Verily my Sabbaths ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am the Lord that doth sanctify you." It's about sanctification. It's about holiness. God says, "This is how you'll know that I set you apart." And yet today, millions reject that sign and call it legalism. But how can keeping God's sign be legalistic while keeping man's tradition is freedom? Let me challenge every skeptic right now. Show me one verse, just one, where God removed the Sabbath as his sign and replaced it with Sunday. You can't, because it doesn't exist. Show me one verse where Jesus, the apostles, or even Paul declared the Sabbath void. You won't find it. Because even in the New Testament, Paul preached to Jews and Gentiles on the Sabbath. Acts 13:42-44. Jesus said in Matthew 5:17-19 that not one jot or tittle of the law would pass away. And in Matthew 24:20, he warned his disciples to pray that their flight be not on the Sabbath, a prophecy that extended decades after his resurrection. Why would Jesus warn about breaking a day he supposedly abolished? And let's talk prophecy. In Isaiah 66:22-23, the Lord speaks of the new heavens and new earth, and says, "From one Sabbath to another shall all flesh come to worship before me." All flesh, not just Jews, not just ancient Israel, all flesh. If the Sabbath is God's eternal sign, even into the new earth, how dare we call it temporary? The truth is undeniable. The Sabbath is the divine seal. Sunday is the counterfeit. The sign of God is rooted in creation. The mark of man is rooted in tradition. So again I ask, can you disprove Ezekiel 20:12? Can you silence Genesis 2? Can you cancel Exodus 20 or Isaiah 66? Can you override the words of Jesus himself? The answer is no, you cannot. Because truth doesn't bend to tradition, it crushes it. God has a sign. That sign is the seventh-day Sabbath. He never changed it. He never erased it. And he never gave permission to substitute it with man's invention. If you claim to follow God, then follow the sign he gave, not the one religion replaced it with. Ezekiel 20:12 is not just a verse, it's a verdict. Will you accept God's sign or reject his covenant? Prove it wrong. If you can,